What up, YouTube? Welcome to Dating with a Purpose and a Plan. Today, I want to talk about something that every man hears when he's rejected by a woman. All right, and you may wonder, why am I talking to you about that? Well, I think this discussion really bears a lesson, I guess you could say, that is very important for you as a woman when you're seeking relationships. And when you see a man, he comes up to you and he says, "Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. How you doing?" Or he may come up with you some weird pickup line, say, "Hey, you must be tired because you've been running through my mind all day." And you say, "No, I don't think so." Well, when you reject that man, you're basically telling him you chose the wrong woman. Now, hopefully, I'll tell you two sides to this story. The one side is when you tell a man you chose the wrong woman, in a way, you're saying that that you're not a good choice. All right. So, in that regard, when you say that, it's kind of a bad thing to say, in a certain way. All right. But on the other side of it is the man is understanding, or at least he may understand, that he did not the things he saw in you were not you were not the woman that he should have picked, you know. And it's a very rough thing to hear, that you're not the right person, or at least you're not the right person for me. And I think dating needs to be changed in one regard, because rejection should not necessarily be a bad thing. It should be something that we get used to. But on the other side of it, dating, when you actually see people that you're not interested in, or they may approach you, that's just part of the process. And we cannot demonize the process, or any part of the process, because if you demonize the process, it actually hurts you and other people who are in the process of trying to find a relationship. So usually when a man rejects a woman, he might just say, no, no, thank you. I think men are usually better at rejecting women, especially if they're, more attractive men. And, well, it depends on the guy and his ego. I can remember one time where I actually rejected a woman, if you can believe that or not. And she was not that. I think she was a little bit older than me, and she wasn't bad looking. You know what I mean? She was, she was all right looking, but she just wasn't a particular person for me. And the way I spoke to her, well, actually, the way I reacted to it was, it wasn't the best. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was surprising, because I was surprised she actually approached me. And what I did kind of embarrassed her. All right. And it embarrassed her in a way to where she got mad at me, and I don't remember if she hit me or said something, but it wasn't cool. All right. And it basically created a reaction in her where, she was upset with me. And in the same token, I think if we embarrass people when they're in the process, or trying to join the process of starting a relationship, it actually does more damage than good. All right. Now, it's not a bad thing to reject somebody, but how we reject people has to be taken into consideration, because the other person has a heart. First of all, in my situation, I regretted that I did not actually kind of pull her off to the side, because it was a public place, and and because it's a public place, that multiplies the amount of the embarrassment. And so I wish at that particular time, I wish I had to just, because she wasn't a bad woman, you know what I mean? She's a nice person. She was cool, and I didn't really know her that much, but I wish I had just, said, "Hey, let's go around the corner and let's talk about it a little bit." And I think it would have been better for me just to take her around the corner and just say, "Hey, thank you for, considering me, but I don't really have that interest for you like that." And just come up with a smooth way to basically turn them down, but doesn't actually make that person's heart break. All right. And so men hear all the time basically that you chose the wrong person to be interested in. When you get rejected, that's basically what you say. If you say no, you get out of my face, whatever, you're saying that you chose the wrong woman to be interested in. All right. Now, on the flip side of that, I think we have to, I want you guys to understand that if it's possible for a man to choose the wrong woman to be interested in, all right, then it's also possible for a woman to choose the wrong man to be interested in, all right? And so I want you to consider that just because you're interested in a particular man, that does not mean that man wants you. It does not mean that man is good for you. And I would go as far as saying that a lot of times we can be attracted to the wrong people. And if we're attracted to the wrong people, we can get the wrong results. You can become a single mother. You could become heartbroken. You could have even worse. There are women that have lost their lives because they had interest in the wrong men, and they had, you have the serial, people that actually, they continued to take the lives of women and others because they had some weird mindset or whatever, or even pride or arrogance to where they thought they were better than people, and that they didn't believe other people, were, had the right to basically live out their lives. And for a man, I think it's more apparent because a man is usually the one that's seeking a woman. He's the one that usually has to put his choice to the test. And for a lot of women, I believe you guys don't necessarily have to put your choice to the test unless you have the select few women who are willing to go up there and just talk to a guy and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm interested in you," and wait to see if that man reciprocates that. But the advantage a lot of women have over men, you as women, is that even if a man doesn't want you personally for who you are, he can want you for your body, or for basically intimacy. And so you have a secondary desire that men are going to want, and it goes both ways. But you guys have an advantage over men because men, our hormones are just like, hey, produce, 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 produce. We just gonna be trying to rock that bad boy. And so we're always going to be looking for that. And a lot of times, even that desire sometimes can actually blind us to who the right woman is, because you can be very attracted to a particular woman. And you as a woman may not necessarily be a good person, but that attraction can carry a man for a very long period of time until that woman actually just destroys that level of attraction, because eventually it's gonna leave, and that love can turn into something else, because if you're continually punching somebody, after a while they're gonna get angry. All right, most people are gonna get angry and they're gonna retaliate, and that's what you don't want to happen. If you have somebody that's doing good to you, being good to you, you want to treat that person with respect and love them, because it's one is just normal. But you can't expect someone to always love you if you're not loving them back. And so you have to be real careful in that. And in reality, the person that loves you the most is probably going to be the one that's hurt the most if something happens. So I think I might do a part two, but I'll talk to you later.